Hello, my name is Gregory Lyons, and I'd like to relate an inspiring story that I read about today to you. How people can overcome adversity in any condition, in any situation, and the power, especially the power of books, which a lot of people frown at. As you can see behind me, books are very important to me. Anyway, here's my story. It's not my story, it's a story I read that I think you should know about. William Kamkwambe dreamed of powering his village with the only resource that was freely available to him. His native Malawi had gone through one of its worst droughts 7 years ago, killing thousands. His family and others were surviving on one meal a day. The red soil in his Masitala hometown were parched. His father, a farmer without any income. But amid all the shortages, one thing was still abundant: wind. I wanted to do something to help and change things, he said. Then I said to myself, if they can make electricity out of wind, I can try too. Kamkwambe was kicked out of school when he couldn't pay $80 in school fees, and he spent his days at the library where a book with photographs of windmills caught his eye. I thought, this thing exists in this book. It means someone else managed to build this machine, he said. Armed with the book, the then 14-year-old taught himself to build windmills. He scoured through junkyards for items including bicycle parts, plastic pipes, tractor fans, and car batteries. For the tower, he collected wood from blue gum trees. Everyone laughed at me when I told them I was building a windmill. They thought I was crazy, he said. Then I started telling them I was just playing with the parts. That sounded more normal. That was 2002. Now he has 5 windmills, the tallest at 37 feet. He built one at an area school that he used to teach classes on windmill building. The windmills generate electricity and pump water in his hometown, north of the capital, Lilongwe. Neighbors regularly trek across the dusty footpaths to his house to charge their cell phones. Others stop by to listen to Malawian reggae music blaring from a radio. When he started building the first windmill in 2002, word that he was crazy spread all over his village. Some people said he was bewitched, a common description for people with perplexing behavior in some African cultures. All of us, even my mother, they thought he had gone mad, said his sister Doris Kamkwambe. Villagers would surround him to snicker and point, Kamkwambe said. Ignoring them, he would quietly bolt pieces using a screwdriver made of a heated nail attached to a corn cob. The heat from both the crowd and the meat and the melted flattened pipes he used as blades did not deter him. 3 months later, his first windmill churned to life as relief swept over him. As the blades whirled, a bulb attached to the windmill flickered on. I wanted to finish it just to prove them wrong, he said. I knew people would then stop thinking I was crazy. Kamkwambe, now 22, is a student at the African Leadership Academy, an elite South African school for young leaders. Donors paid for his education. His story has turned him into a globetrotter. Former U.S. Vice President Al Gore, an avid advocate of green living, has applauded his work. Kamkwambe is invited to events worldwide to share his experience with entrepreneurs. During a recent trip to Palm Springs, California, he saw a real windmill for the first time, lofty and majestic, a far cry from the wobbly wooden structures that spin in his backyard. Former Associated Press correspondent Brian Mealer, who covered Africa, wrote a book, The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind, after hearing Kamkwambe's story. The book was released in the United States last week. Mailer, a native of San Antonio, Texas, said he lived with Kamkwambe in his village for months to write the book. The story was a refreshing change after years of covering bloody conflicts in the region, Mailer said. Kamkwambe is part of a generation of Africans who are not waiting for their governments or aid groups to come to their rescue, according to the author. They are seizing opportunities in technology and finding solutions to their own problems, Mailer said. One of the keys of his success is he never wanted to rest on his laurels. I related that story to you because it's a triumph of the human spirit. In the face of people saying he was crazy, he knew he could do it, and he wouldn't stop until he did it. Think about that in your life. Think about what you can do, and don't stop until you do. William Kamkwambe is an inspiration.